Hello, friends. This is my new exciting way of trying to do an introduction to a quiz. Welcome to the second ever Imperial Lates Online quiz. This is part of the Imperial Lates Online series, which is for adults. So if there are any children watching, don't go away, children. I've put myself on two screens at once and it's too frightening. I need to stop it. Right. Sorry about that slight technical hitch. It means I'll be in the YouTube chat thread if any of you want to have a chat with me. So each month we explore a different theme with science and engineering researchers from across Imperial. This quiz is part of the theme Staying Connected. We're calling it the Cyber Quiz for short. Now, I've got two wonderful people hosting this quiz with me tonight who I would like you to meet now. So can my super off-screen amazing maestro, look at that! That's incredible. There's the first one. So this is Maeve O'Sullivan. Maeve is going to be your quiz boss. That's why she's called Maeve the boss on screen. And she'll be the one asking you the questions and giving you the answers. I'll be the person in between telling you off if you've quibbled any of the answers or misbehaved in the chat. Maeve is part of the public engagement team at Imperial. So if you ever want to find her in person, there's no point going to Imperial because she's working from home. But before that, I like this. I didn't realize that we were going to talk about this. Before that, Maeve was an actor in the UK and Ireland. And that was why I was very insistent that she should host this quiz because she's a professional. Have you got an equity card, Maeve?
It's expired now.
Oh, Maeve, come on, let the side down. Let the side down. Don't make me get mine out and wave it. Right, let's find out who our other amazing guest presenter is. This is Dorian Florescu. Dorian is our guest researcher. Dorian's going to be taking you through round 2, which is our research-based question round, and he's going to be quizzing you about ideas to do with his research. Now, I should tell you, Dorian's research is around the processing and transmission of electrical signals and what we can learn from the human brain in order to make computers and machine learning more advanced. So get ready to expand the grey matter you already have using Dorian's incredible grey matter. Dorian, you weren't secretly an actor before this as well, were you?
I can't tell you now.
That means Dorian was secretly a secret agent before this, which is even more exciting. Before we crack on with the quiz, thanks very much, Dorian. We'll see you in a little bit. Before we crack on with the quiz, I'm just going to run you through the rules. So there's a lovely chat thread on YouTube where you can talk to me, you can talk to the other presenters, you can talk to the people running the quiz, you can talk to each other. But the chat thread has some rules. Number 1, no correct answers in the chat thread. If you want to put hilariously wrong answers, that's absolutely fine. Rule number 2, no correct answers in the chat thread. I think whoever wrote this script has watched Fight Club too many times. The third rule is don't use the chat thread inappropriately. And if you're not sure what inappropriate is, don't use the chat thread at all. We will block people who we think are being naughty in the chat thread, and we will kill the entire chat thread if it gets too bad. There's a rule here which says no cheating, but there's no prize. So, like, if you want to cheat, you're only cheating yourselves. Or if we see a full set of correct answers, we're going to be very suspicious. You will be given an answer form in the chat, in the YouTube chat. Please only fill in 1 form per team because we are actually marking your answers. There are real people behind the scenes marking your answers. This is literally the only university testing that is going on at the moment anywhere in the UK, and it's happening to you. So to do that, we need you to just put in 1 form per team. And also, we need you to choose a team name and stick to that team name, whatever happens, because otherwise we'll give your marks to all sorts of other people. So you'll have to pick a team name that's a bit unique. So you can't have like Team 1 or Team A or the best quiz team, because there'll be about 3 teams called that. So be a bit careful. A few more little things. Like any pub quiz, this quiz is partly about knowing facts, but it's partly about being able to predict and interpret the minds of the people who wrote the pub quiz. That means that our answers are the right answers. You cannot quibble the answers, because remember, if you've got an answer which you think is more accurate than our answer, you have failed at the job of every quiz participant, which is to understand the minds of the people setting the quiz. Similarly, there are no half marks. We will tell you your scores after rounds 2, 4, and 5. There's only 5 rounds, so you'll be all right with that. And during this quiz, what we really want from you is poems that you've written about the themes of the quiz. Now, we're only accepting poems on Twitter, and you have to use the hashtag, that's this. But did you know you can do this? It's like quote marks used to be, but now it's hashtag. You can only use it twice a day, or you are a dickhead. But I am a dickhead, so it's fine. Also, there's no children allowed on this, so I can say dickhead. So hashtag Imperial Lates, and we'll give 2 points to the best poem submitted by any team. It could be the difference between winning and the opposite of winning, losing. That's what I'm looking for. If you see any problems during the quiz, or if there are any problems, you will see this incredible slide, which will let you know what's going on. There we go. That basically means my Wi-Fi's gone down at home because my other half has started downloading large amounts of Formula One footage that they want to watch. I've told them not to do that. Don't panic. We will be back in a minute. I will run into the house and throw their computer out of a window and we'll get on with it. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, yes. At the end of each round, there's a countdown. You have to get your scores in on time. If you get your scores in late, they will not be counted. Okay, I think that's all of the rules I have to check. Yes, that's all of the rules I have to tell you. So let's hand over to somebody much smarter than me, somebody who is not only a professional performer, but a professional quiz setter in that she has been paid to do this as part of her job. Would you please welcome into your houses via the medium of the internet and screens, the absolutely wonderful Maeve O'Sullivan.
Thank you, Steve, for that wonderfully enthusiastic introduction. I hope you're all listening there. Make sure you have a team name by now, and our people behind the scenes should be posting where you can put your answers into. So I'm going to begin with round 1, which is back to basics. This is our cyber edition of the quiz. So we're going to just backtrack a little bit and see what you know about the fundamentals. So I want you to listen carefully and make notes if you need to, because I will not be repeating the questions at the end. I will say them twice and the question will be on your screen, but I will not say it again. Then you'll get 2 minutes at the end of the round to confer with your teammates and then submit your answers. So I'll give you a bit of warning. Are you ready? Here we go. So, question 1. In what year was the World Wide Web first used by the public? Is it A, 1989? Is it B, 1991? Or C, 1993? This is probably the most basic internet question that you could get. So that's why it's question 1. Question 1, in what year was the World Wide Web first used by the public? A, 1989, B, 1991, or C, 1993? It's a multiple choice answer. 1 point for that. Question 2 is 2 points for this one. I want to know, who is this, the gentleman on your screen, and what platform do we know him from? There's 2 points available there. I want to know who that guy is, what's his name, and what platform do we know him from? Question 3. What does the acronym USB stand for? There's 1 point for this question. I'm sure you've all used the USB. You probably own several USBs. But do you know what it stands for? This is question 3. What does the acronym USB stand for? And there's 1 point for the whole answer. I'm not doing 1 point per word or half a point. If you get a bit of it right, it's 1 point. That's question 3. Question 4. The documentary Bombshell tells the story of an Austrian-born actress and inventor who helped invent the technology that is the basis of current Wi-Fi. What is her name? This is question 4 for 1 point. So from the documentary Bombshell, which tells a story of an Austrian-born actress and inventor who helped invent the technology that is the basis of current Wi-Fi. I want to know what her name is. Question 5. Another fundamental question, I think, for people who are interested in computers. What is the name of the computer who first beat a world champion in chess? This is question 5. 1 point for this. What is the name of the computer who first beat a world champion in chess? Question 6, another 2-pointer. So if you have a look at the picture, question 6, I want to know what popular TV series might you know this robot from? And there's a bonus point here. So for your second point, you can get a bonus point if you can name the robot. This is question 6. What popular TV series might you know this robot from? And there's a bonus point up for grabs if you can name the robot. There's 2 points here. Okay, so question 7. Can I give you a little listen to something? And I want to know, what's that sound? What a delightful sound. What was it? That's question 7. And I don't want to play that sound again because it's not that pleasant. Question 8. It might surprise some of you to know that Wi-Fi is actually not an abbreviation. It's just a pun on the term hi-fi. What is hi-fi an abbreviation of? So Wi-Fi is not an abbreviation. So I can't ask you what Wi-Fi is an abbreviation of, but I can ask you what hi-fi is an abbreviation of. 1 point for this. It's question 8. Question 9, bit of a tricky one. Systems have become so advanced that we often must pass the CAPTCHA test at the end of surveys, where you see that symbol. So for 2 points, I want to know, what do the 2 C's in CAPTCHA stand for? Now the C's stand for 2 different words. So there's 2 different points available for 2 different words. That's question 9 again. Systems have become so advanced that we often must pass the CAPTCHA test at the end of surveys. So I want to know, what do the 2 C's in CAPTCHA stand for? So 2 different words, beginning with C, 2 points. It's a bit of niche knowledge, I think, this one. And finally, question 10. What is the name of this adorable therapeutic robot? There's 1 point there for this lovely picture, which I've also put in your answer sheets. This is question 10. What is the name of this adorable therapeutic robot? So you now have 2 minutes to get your answers agreed. Stick them in the answer form. I think I'd like to bring back Steve so we can have a little discussion about how that went while you discuss your answers. Hey, Steve.
Hello. I was trying to, just for people who might not have sound, I was trying to subtitle question 6. So I've written doop, 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 e-ma, which I don't think is far off. I'm pretty happy with that as a piece of art.
Although, you know, I was going to say, like, make sure your sound is turned on, but in order to know that, they would have had to hear me say it.
That's why I covered for you in the live chat. It's because, I mean, anyone will get it from the live chat. I mean, it's clearly the national anthem. Doop, 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 e, max. See, it's the national anthem all the way. Which question did you enjoy writing the most? I think that's a big deal with pub quizzes. You got to enjoy writing them.
Oh, for sure. I think for me, I actually had to reel myself in for the question about capped chat, because I want points for the whole thing. But
yes.
I had a lot of arguments with friends who work in computers, and they said, don't do that. That's just me.
Yeah, I feel better not knowing 2 words of it instead of not knowing every single word of it. I don't know any words of it, but it just I will have lost. Not that I'm competing, because that would be terrible cheating. I've got the answers, but I will still have. Yeah, I feel better not having failed to completely that level. I think that was a nice little first round. Nobody's in the live chat threatening to go around to your house and egg your windows, so I think it went pretty well. It went pretty well all round. I just want to talk about all the questions, but it'll give away too much.
I know it will.
Put all of the wrong answers that I think are safe into the chat thread already. Like, I've already said it was RoboCop off of RoboCop. And I don't know how to make it any more exciting than that. Brilliant. Well, this is all, it's going all right, isn't it? I think we've got plenty watching. We've got plenty watching at home now. They're all panicking. They're all grabbing USB items, and on the bottom of all of them, there's just that weird symbol. It doesn't even say USB on them anymore. You meant to know what USB is?
It's my USB.
Oh. It's dangerous to hold that up, because there might be computer people watching who are so clever that just from a screen grab of that, they can get all the data off it.
Search. That's very true. Okay, so we're going to do a countdown from 10 now, so you can get your answer forms in. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And your time is up.
I think we did very well to both do 2 and 1 without doing anything even slightly rude there, Maeve. Hey, Rise, it's so easy to just get it wrong, isn't it? So easy. We're absolutely fine. Now,
all right. Time for the answers.
Are you going to read these lovely people the answers?
I will, but you can stay there if you want and pass judgment on what you thought the answer was.
Go on then. I will.
Okay, everybody. So your answers are locked in. No more answers. Here are the real answers. So question 1, I asked you, in what year was the internet officially open to the public? Steve, what do you think?
Like, I don't want to feel that old. So 89.
Incorrect. The answer is 1991.
Okay, that means I was using it that year.
Yes, you must have been. And if you want to be really specific, it opened on the 6th of August.
I would have felt so much better if I'd been using it after it had been around. Right.
Question 2, who is this and what platform do we know him from? Do you remember this guy?
That's Tom off of MySpace, isn't it?
It is Tom.
I had a quick check. My MySpace page doesn't exist anymore. I did go and look. My MySpace page was on BBC One once. It's part of a documentary on how creative people were using the internet back before anyone over 40 used the internet.
Did you have an emo fringe?
No, I had a tank driver's helmet on.
That's embarrassing.
No, it looked great, actually.
Oh, yes, the question. What does USB stand for? It stands for Universal Serial Bus, which I don't think you could have guessed, really. I didn't know that when I tried to find out.
The nerds are like, we guessed it. Just
we know. Something hard. Wait for Dorian's round. Question 4, I wanted to know the name of the Austrian-born actress and inventor who helped invent the technology that is the current basis of Wi-Fi. That is the basis of current Wi-Fi. So her name is Hedy Lamarr.
Yes.
But I will
this
also
is one that if you've ever been to a public talk by a mathematician or a computer scientist, they always get it in. It's like the one bit of celebrity associated with their subjects. So they're like, they go, Ada Lovelace, Alan Turing, Hedy Lamarr, and everyone goes, Hedy Lamarr?
Yeah. Full name, Hedwig Eva Maria Keisler. Would you know?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, this one. I think this is quite an easy question, wasn't it? What was the name of the computer who first beat a world champion in chess? Looking for Deep Blue is the name of the computer. Deep Blue. There's no points for Deep Thought because it was only very briefly known that, mainly in just a short conversation, and then that wasn't what it was. Deep Blue. Question 6. Yes.
This one's hard.
Did you watch this?
I mean, the show's easy, but the robot, we all only remember Sir Kill-a-Lot, and it's not Sir Kill-a-Lot.
Well, this one was iconic for me. So Robot Wars, point for that. And a point for Matilda.
Yes.
I've got to make it a little bit tricky, you know. Can't all be, what does USB stand for? Everyone knows that. All right, I was asking you what this sound was. Say that again. So that is a dial-up tone. We will accept modem, internet connecting.
I love the way it fades out.
I had to move on from it. I couldn't listen to it anymore. So question 8, I wanted to know what hi-fi was an abbreviation of. It is an abbreviation of high fidelity. And high fidelity is a term for high quality audio technology. Probably something that we're all using.
And the book's better than the film.
Yeah. I haven't read the book. Is that the one with No, that's not important. Yeah. Okay, question 9. I want to know what the 2 C's in CAPTCHA stood for. So I'm going to let you in on the actual statement. It's completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. So I was looking for completely and computers. And I just love this. I love this fact because I just love the Turing test. And it's basically the opposite of that. It's great. Question 10, finally, I want to know the name of this adorable therapeutic robot. And this is Paro. Paro is like an advanced interactive therapeutic robot to stimulate patients with things like dementia, Alzheimer's. It's very, very clever.
So this was in the Netflix series Master of None, and I got very excited and tried to buy one.
Oh, was it?
But they're really expensive, even if you can find them outside of formal healthcare. They're really. It turns out it's not just a kind of wobbly thing with a bit of electronics. It is actually quite a complicated machine learning system pretending to be
probably is.
baby
Not like that dog you get that like goes and then like flips backwards. I think it's a bit.
Yeah, no, it's not like the toy T-Rex I've got that just goes. Ah!
All right, so I think now it's time for our research round. So if anyone thought those questions were a bit too easy, you're about to get ruined. Okay, so let's bring in Dr. Dorian. Bye, Steve. See you later.
Bye.
So I'm going to introduce to you now Dr. Dorian Florescu from our Department of Electrical Engineering. Now, Dorian's been a fascinating person to develop this quiz with, mainly because I'm still not entirely sure what he does. But I'm fairly sure that he's trying to improve the ways that engineers create neural networks in things like AI. And he bases his research on the best blueprint that we have, which is the human brain. Would that be fair, Dorian? That would
be a good intro, but to get into more details, so I'll just say that during my PhD, I worked on computational neuroscience, which in layman terms just means I try to see what's the connection between neural circuits and the digital circuits that we use in everyday lives. Then during my postdoctoral career, I started working on artificial neural networks, since we will see later on they're based on very outdated neuron models. And I try to see if I can incorporate some more biological details to improve those neural networks. And then later on, and currently at Imperial, I'm moving from artificial neural networks to digital circuits used for signal transmission. And I'm trying to see if I can also update those so I can improve them with more biological accuracy.
It's all very clever, very clever. I don't know if anyone joining in the quiz actually
You'll see probably the people left already.
Well, we're gonna do a bit of fun questions, a bit of learning. Yeah, let's go. All right, Dorian, take it away.
Okay, so question 1. Our current AI, or artificial intelligence neural network, models are based on our understanding of the neuron from which year? Is it A, 2019, B, 1997, C, 1943, or D, this understanding has nothing to do with a biological neuron? So our current AI neural network models are based on our understanding of the neuron from which year? A, 2019, B, 1997, C, 1943, or D, this understanding has nothing to do with the biological neuron?
I would hope that people were listening to you in your introduction. They might be able to give a good guess.
Well, question number 2. What household item uses roughly as much power as an adult brain? A 20-watt incandescent light bulb. B, a 25-inch iMac. C, a Samsung 50-inch smart TV. Or D, a 2500-watt electric radiator heater. So what household item uses roughly as much power as an adult brain? A 20-watt incandescent light bulb. B, a 25-inch iMac. C, a Samsung 50-inch smart TV. Or D, a 2500-watt electric radiator heater. Okay, we're getting to more or longer questions. Questions.
Words there. We might just read this one once.
So, the brain is a complex piece of machinery with a high processing power. The Pixar film Inside Out shows 5 people operating the brain, each representing an emotion, with their own area of expertise. The question is, what are these 5 emotions? A, happy, sadness, anger, horror, sorrow. B, wonder, curiosity, awe, joy, happy. C, joy, sadness, anger, fear, disgust. Or D, sleepy, grumpy, bashful, dopey, sneezy. So I'll do it again. The brain is a complex piece of machinery with a high processing power. The Pixar film Inside Out shows 5 people operating the brain, each representing an emotion, with their own area of expertise. What are these 5 emotions? A, happy, sadness, anger, horror, sorrow. B, wonder, curiosity, awe, joy, happy. C, joy, sadness, anger, fear, disgust. Or D, sleepy, grumpy, bashful, dopey, sneezy. Moving on to question 4. While being hooked up to the matrix, the brain of the subject is connected to a computer simulating a different reality. This reality includes footage of ongoing traffic. On what side of the road were the cars driving when the film was being shot? Is it A, on the right, or B, on the left? A very highly technical question. While being hooked up to the matrix, the brain of the subject is connected to a computer simulating a different reality. This reality includes footage of ongoing traffic. On what side of the road were the cars driving when the film was being shot? A, on the right, or B, on the left? Question 5. Elon Musk founded Neuralink in 2017, which aims to create an interface between brains and machines. After being featured in Rick and Morty, what name did Elon briefly change his Twitter handle to? A, Elon Dusk, B, Elon Tusk, C, Elon Husk, or D, Elon Mollusk? As a disclaimer, this was not my idea. Question 5.
My idea. I enjoy it on so many levels.
It was Elon Musk. He phoned me personally. So question 5. Elon Musk founded Neuralink in 2017, which aims to create an interface between brains and machines. After being featured in Rick and Morty, What name did Elon briefly change his Twitter handle to? A. Elon Dusk, B. Elon Tusk, C. Elon Husk, or D. Elon Mollusk? Question 6. In many spy or sci-fi films you might have watched, characters use high-tech software to enhance the detail in low-resolution images in order to recognize faces. The question is, can a low-res image be processed to get the same result as capturing a high-resolution image? A. No, it can never be done so. B. Yes, with complex mathematical algorithms. C. Only if the scene photographed is smooth. Or D. Yes, and it is commonly done in most consumer-grade cameras. So in many spy or sci-fi films, the characters use high-tech software to enhance the details in low-resolution images in order to recognize faces. Can a low-res image be processed to get the same result as capturing a high-resolution image? A. No, never. B. Yes, with complex mathematical algorithms. C. Only if the scene photographed is smooth. Or D. Yes, it is commonly done in most consumer-grade cameras. Question 7. Why can't we see the radio and TV signals while an antenna can detect them? A. Because TV signals oscillate slower than the visible light. B. Because TV signals oscillate faster than the visible light. C. They are completely different types of signal. Or D. Because TV signals are only transmitted through wires. So why can't we see radio and TV signals while an antenna can detect them? Is it because A. TV signals oscillate slower than visible light? B. TV signals oscillate faster than the visible light? C. They are completely different? Or D. Because TV signals are only transmitted through wires? And the final question. As you're reading this question, your eyes transform the words into sequences of short pulses. The digital cameras, though, generate sequences of zeros and ones. The question is, why are today's computers or digital cameras use 0-1 information representation and not pulses like the human brain? A. Because they are better than the brains. B. Because pulses are much harder to process. C. Because it was only discovered recently that the brain uses pulses. Or D. Because computers are already taking over. So why are today's computers and cameras using 0-1 information representation and not pulses like the human brain? A. Because they are better than the brains. B. Because pulses are much harder to process. C. Because it was only discovered recently that the brain uses pulses. Or D. Because computers are taking over.
Okie dokie. So now we've got 2 minutes for you to argue amongst yourselves in your team. And if you're in a team with someone who is not living with you, get them on the phone, text them. You don't have very long. I've also been told by our background spies that there's been some fun comments from the audience, which I think would be fun to have a look at. People think that you know, I'd like to see that. Oh, here we go. I like the Rick and Morty reference in question 5. Yes, yes, that was me. Dorian, you need to get involved in Rick and Morty. You need to get deeply involved.
Well, it's my secret project, but I can't reveal it now. Oh,
Very good. Yes. Well, I'm very happy about that. Thank you for that comment. Good. Oh, science show off. Science show off. This is your regular reminder that the John Wick trilogy is way better than the Matrix trilogy. What do you think, Dorian? I haven't seen the Wick one.
Nothing can beat Matrix in my view.
Oh. Okay, I think we're coming up to the 2 minutes. Has everybody submitted their answers? Because we're going to come at you with the answers in just a second. I'm going to give you a countdown from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Okay, everybody, I hope that you got them in time, because now it is closed. You get no points if you didn't submit that in time. All right, so Dorian, do you want to enlighten everyone with the answers and then maybe a little bit of knowledge surrounding them?
Sure. So for the first question, the answer is surprisingly 1943. It turns out that despite the fact that a lot of today's AI is based on neural networks, they are mainly based on improvements on a model that was introduced in 1943 by Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts. And there have been improvements since, but the improvements were only focused on increasing the performance and not on increasing the biological accuracy. And since then, separately, neuroscientists have shown that biological neurons are entirely different, but artificial intelligence started evolving on a separate track.
Also want to remind everyone that while we have Dorian's brain with us, after round 4, we'll be doing a little Q&A. So if you've got questions, you can put them in the YouTube chat. So if you like what he says, get him to answer some questions. Okay, carry on, Dorian.
So for question number 2, this one is to give the audience an insight on how much power it actually consumes. And it turns out that the answer is a 20-watt incandescent light bulb. The idea is that even though the brain uses a lot of the energy generated by the body, which is around 20%, this is still a very little amount of energy. And this is attributed to the fact that the transmission in the brain, which is based on pulses, is very efficient. And this saves a lot of power. So for question number 3, the answer was joy, sadness, anger, fear, disgust. And if you expect, sorry?
Did you get to watch the film?
I partly watched the film, but enough to get me started for this quiz. But I promise that it's going to be my homework after this. And it turns out that if anybody expected a very complicated answer here, that this was purely done for artistic purposes, and that the brain is still a very highly complex piece of machinery, and it cannot be broken down into modules, to say so.
Fair enough. So this isn't a good lesson in science. It's artistic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, your favorite question.
So on my favorite question, I guess, it turns out that in the Matrix, even though everyone sees the cars driving on the right-hand side, they were actually driving on the left because it was shot in Sydney, Australia, apparently because it was cheaper. And then they reversed the footage to make it look like it was on the right side.
It's a very, very sneaky question, Dorian. I imagine there'll be uproar in the YouTube chat, which we can't see, luckily, but there probably will be.
YouTube is already done now. Down. It's completely. And the next question, which is probably your favorite question.
That's my favorite.
Elon Musk's Twitter handle, and it turns out that it was Elon Tusk. and that was done in order to, so it was done as an irony towards Warren Buffett's repetitive statement that he continued to seek an elephant-sized acquisition. And in response to that, Elon Musk changed his Twitter handle to Elon Tusk.
Oh, so it wasn't just because he liked the representation of his alternate reality self. It was in response to a statement. Very good. I didn't know that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can still believe it was Rick and Morty. I don't want to. Question number 6 about turning a low-res image into high-res. It turns out that it is indeed possible, but only if the scene is smooth. This is a very famous result in signal processing, which says that if the scene is smooth, which means that there's a very small color change in between pixels, then you can generate a high-resolution image exactly as if it would be captured with a high-resolution camera. Question 7. TV signals are oscillating with a lower frequency than the visible light. So the answer is they oscillate slower than the visible light. And that is, so most transmissions rely on electromagnetic signals like TV, mobile phones, radio. Visible light is also one example. And if you're planning on seeing TV signals or radio waves, this might help you save on your TV bill, but it would definitely overwhelm you with the amount of information.
Oh my God. Finally.
It turns out that the digital circuits use a completely different type of encoding because the pulse representation used by the brain is much harder to process. So the pulses used by the brain are also called spikes, which are very, very short jumps in amplitude. And these are, they do not transmit the what, but they mostly transmit the when. So by not transmitting an amplitude value, but a time value, it means that the pulse can be very, very small in amplitude and save a lot of energy.
Wow.
But
well,
it's important to point out that the reason why this is not done in reality currently is that we still do not know exactly how the brain uses this pulse representation to perform calculations. So it's still a mystery that is going to be hopefully uncovered soon.
well, good luck with that. Thank you so much, Dorian. We're going to bring Steve back to check in on the scores. So you can take a little break now, Dorian, before you come back for your Q&A with me. So we're collecting questions from everybody, put them in the chat, and we will get to them later. So thank you, Dorian. See you in a bit.
Yeah.
Hello, Maeve.
Hello, Steve.
How did it go? I thought Dorian was good value.
Oh, he's very good, and he's so clever, and I just don't understand.
He will. Just before we do any scores, I just wanted to talk to the teams about some of their answers in round 1 because there were some absolutely beautiful ones. Now, I just wanted to talk to Faulty Mike first of all. Faulty Mike, for the question, what was the computer score that won at chess? They had the best guess. It was wrong, but they clearly thought, right, it was made in the 20th century. It was meant to be really clever and brilliant. What'll it be called? Something 2000. So they just wrote something 2000 down because probably it would have been called that, which I love. Lots of people didn't know what Paro was, but they wanted one. At least one team was just like, where do we buy it? But really, the thing was, lots of people didn't know what Paro was called, so they just guessed. And 2 teams guessed the same thing. So I just wondered if they had some sort of psychic link. So the Astroquizics department and Oddlaw's Peppermint Tea both guessed Sammy, suggesting that they've got quite a lot in common, and maybe some of them should meet up after all of the nonsense ends for a drink and just find out what else they've got in common. Maybe they all grow together, they become a super team, something like that. I don't know. But well, enough of that. Let's go and find out how the scores are. Do you want to do the scores, Maeve, or do you want me to do the scores?
You go for it. I've been talking quite a lot. So, yes, let's see the score sheet and you can rattle through it
Fine.
there.
Well, we've got a couple of teams who haven't submitted any scores for round 2 yet, so I'm going to leave them off. But right, I just basically I'm going to concentrate on the top and the bottom because you can all see it. And down the bottom, Team Cactus. I mean, I want to help you. Do you want me to email you some of the answers or something? Help you get along a bit better? You have got 1/3 of the current leading score, which is the Branch Covidians, with an absolutely unbelievable to the point that I assume they were cheating, but they weren't able to cheat in round 2 quite as much. Branch Covidians have got 18, which is unfeasible given how hard some of these questions have been. So no, I mean, let's err on the side of they're very, very clever. And just my current favorite quiz name, after I said team name, after I said don't call yourselves Team 1 or the Ace team, they're just called Ace 1, 2, 3. They've named themselves after what would be quite a good name for an Edinburgh Fringe show because it would get you really early in the programme. Wonderful teams. Now, that was rounds 1 and 2. Maeve, you've got a very different round 3 for these lovely people, haven't you?
Oh, yes. So round 3 should turn the tables a bit.
Yes.
A bit round 4 as well. It's a little bit more off the wall.
This is your time.
So
Team Cactus, Hypernova, Selfie. This is your time. You're going to bring it back. You're going to bring it back, my friends.
Time to shine. Okay, so thank you very much, Steve. I'm just going to get everyone prepared now for round 3. See you later. Round 3, everybody. This round I like to call Lost in Translation. This is a music round with a twist. So this round is based on AI getting things really wrong. So when their purpose is to get it right and make things easier for us, they completely fail. And one of my favorite fails is Google Translate. So there are 5 questions in this round. For each question, I will read the lyrics from the chorus of a well-known song, and your job is to identify the song name and who sang it. However, I have run all of the lyrics through Google Translate about 10 times. So I started with the English lyrics, and then I translated that to, I picked German maybe at random, and then translated that German translation to traditional Chinese, then that translation to Swedish, Spanish, Urdu, Russian, Scottish Gaelic, Arabic, and then I translated it back to English. So some of the meanings of the lyrics have got lost a bit along the way. So there's 2 points per question. 1 for the name of the song and 1 for who sang it. So let's get started. Question 1. Google said, 1, you. I don't like your daughter. Never. I think you need a new one. 1, you. I can be your friend. That's question 1. After many translations, Google said, 1, you. I don't like your daughter. Never. I think you need a new one. 1, you. I can be your friend. So I'm looking for the name of the song. This is the chorus from that song. What's the name of the song and who sang it? Okay. Question 2. Google said, I'm still a sucker for dirt. Yes, I am a teenager in a garbage dump. Also heard little maiden baby loves me. Ooh-hoo. So that's question 2. After many translations, Google said, I'm still a sucker for dirt. Yes, I am a teenager in a garbage dump. Also heard little maiden baby loves me. Ooh-hoo. So that is question 2. Question 3. Google said, he said, I was 3,000. Nothing has changed, however, they drowned. And his granddaughter, really, it's really cute. This is very good. That's question 3. Google said, he said I was 3,000. Nothing has changed, however, they drowned. And his granddaughter, really, it's really cute. This is very good. That is the chorus from what popular song and who sang it? Okay, 2 more to go. Question 4. I fed Google some lyrics. Google said, but I am scary. I whimsical. What am I doing here? I do not belong here. It's quite sad. So question 4, Google said, but I am scary. I whimsical. What am I doing here? I do not belong here. Okay, and your final set of lyrics. Very simply, Google said, ice cream, baby bingo. That's question 5. Quite simply, Google said, once I fed it some lyrics, ice cream, baby bingo. So I'll let you think on those. Now we've got a couple of minutes, I think, to let you have a think. All right, 2 minutes you've got, starting now. Hi, Steve. Did you enjoy that?
That was wonderful, Maeve. I'm so sad that you didn't do them all in special different voices. I like the one that sounded like you were having a conversation with yourself. But I am scary. I whimsical. What am I doing here? I do not belong here.
We've got Philip Stevens says, I hope they were also translated into Welsh. Yes, I think I did go through Welsh. I mean, when you go on Google Translate, there's just a list of languages. So you just kind of get a bit click happy. You go, yeah, cool.
Welsh is quite far down, though. Are you sure you got that far?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, that's the dedication. A true public engagement professional from Imperial College, isn't it? They scroll all the way down to Welsh. That's how you know that. Now, have you got any songs that didn't make the final list of questions here?
I do actually. One of my favorites is it was the lyrics go, give up, give up. That's the opening of the chorus, and it turns out that was mistranslated from let it go. Let it go, give up, slightly different message. But this is the nuance of language that there's something that computers just can't do as well, can they?
No, well, they do pretty good. I mean, I was really expecting when you did this, that absolute nonsense would come out and these questions would be unanswerable. I think they're doable. I mean, I assume that's also you selecting them quite carefully, but I think they're like ice cream baby bingo. I think people can get. On the subject of which, my daughter, who is a baby, has learned the word ice, but she pronounces it ass. So when she wants an ice cube, she's got like an inflamed tooth, she does run around just screaming ass, 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 ass. And I have to go, do you want this piece of ice? And she says, ass. Do you want
Father of the Year award there, Steve.
There's a lot of well, I give her ice to soothe her teething mouth. But she also she knows the words for eyes, but she also thinks that is ass. And she knows the word for ants, and that is also ass. So if she's pointing at things in the garden, you don't know. She's like, ass. Like, what? Do you want me to get you ice? Or are there ants? Or are you pointing at my eyes? Like,
girl who cried ass.
Right, that's it. That's her new t-shirt I'm going to print. The girl who cried ass.
10 seconds, everyone.
That's Parent of the Year award. That's Parent of the Year award. Putting that on a t-shirt.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Johnny
2,
Switzerland presumably wanted them translated into 4
1.
languages. That's
Switzerland,
Switzerland. That's
very complimentary. This is an excellent round. Very smart. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have to give a bit of credit to my sister, actually, because she's got a wonderful mind. And she
Because
suggested
if you don't, no one will know, and you can just take all the credit.
That's true. Forget. Can we cut that out in a? No, we're live. All right, round 3 answers. I'm going to play you the bit of music as well that goes with these lyrics. So, are you excited? This one.
I don't like your daughter. Never. One, you. I can be your friend.
Yes. I don't know where they got daughter from. It's a bit disturbing, isn't it?
Translating girlfriend to daughter is creepy.
Very strange. I wonder what language did that. Maybe Russian. I'm joking.
That's not Imperial College's official position, by the way.
Okay, question 2. I think this is my favorite. Good. That was.
I like the way translate is thought. Well, it can't be the same line twice because that would be stupid.
All right. Next one. It's classic.
Any super nerds on the quiz, if you want to quickly work out the average length of each generation between now and the year 3000, work out what age people are on average when they have children over the next 980 years, because it is shockingly high.
Oh my God, I can't believe people were listening to me when I talked about the languages. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You're getting fired in the morning. You're getting fired in the morning. When we do the next one of these, I'll be working for Imperial and you'll be the freelancer.
Very good. And finally,
I once did a comedy gig where I forced the entire crowd to sing that whole song a cappella before they were allowed to leave. It was fun. Yeah, it was. I'd had 10 shots of bourbon and no dinner as an experiment. It's a stupid experiment. Don't do it.
Yeah, see, again, they didn't want to say the same thing twice.
No, of course. They must be talking about bingo, thought Google Translate. That's a nice word to have brought in at random. Because it wasn't listening to the audio, was it? You actually put the lyrics as words. Okay. Because you can understand mishearing baby as bingo or something, but...
No, like what the writing there in pink is what I put into Google Translate.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Okay. So cracking on with things. I think that we're doing a lot of chatting. So let me get people away with round 4 so they can have a think and get a drink.
Yes.
So this is a picture round. So on your forms, which you'll click at the bottom of round 3, in your forms there are some pictures there, and I want to know what they were. So in this round, Steve directed me towards the Deep Dream Generator, which uses AI algorithms for visual content generation, which explores the insight of a deep neural network. Dorian, can you identify what these were before they got fed into the Deep Dream Generator? I must warn you that some of the images are quite strange. Got 6 things here. Number 1 is an object. Number 2 is an animal. Number 3 is a public figure. Number 4 is a landmark. Number 5 is a pop star. And number 6 is a pop star. 6 points up for grabs on this one. Cool. So I need to get this off my screen because it's so distressing. But you've got it all in your question sheets, so you don't need to see it. So this is the point where we're going to bring Dorian back and we're going to ask him some questions. So I hope that people put some questions in the chat. If not, it'll just be me asking questions of what I want to know, which is fine. Hi, Dorian. How you doing?
Great. Just hanging out.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the music round?
Oh, yeah. I also have music from my neighbors to compete with.
Very good. So while we're, people are going to be half listening, half getting a drink, half looking at the pictures, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say, Dorian. So I have a question for you that I've been thinking about ever since we wrote the question on Elon Musk. So in the news, I think it was at the weekend, there was something in there about Elon Musk and something about him putting a chip into a pig's brain. So how does that work? What's he trying to do? Can you explain that from someone who knows what that is?
Yeah, so that was your secret question. I'm quite very pleased about it. So to say Elon Musk started his project called Neuralink, in which he's trying to connect the human brain to create a brain-machine interface that would allow the brain to communicate directly to a machine. And the reason for him doing that was he said, "I know that AI will overtake humanity anyway, and I want to be on their side when that happens." Basically, I mean that's a joke, so it's not. And he started actually testing it a few days ago. That's why there were news about him. And he connected this chip to the pig's brain, and they could hear signals every time the pig's snout was touching things when he was sniffing.
So does that mean that they're going to, I don't know, like it's almost Morse code, that they're going to figure out what each thing means, what each signal means? Because obviously it's not like, Dr. Dolittle, he's put the chip into the pig's brain and suddenly you're getting all this chat through going, I'm a really hungry pig. Where it's not that. So it's just getting like pulses. Is that kind of what's happening? It's getting, stuff is happening.
So this is just to basically have an initial proof of concept to see how that works. But of course, this is far from actually even reading the pig's brain. I don't think they're able to figure out if the pig is hungry or this kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've got a question. So Steve wants to know, Dorian, what is your work going to turn into? So what does the future look like for you if it all comes off, if it all goes right for you? What's the big dream?
I guess it would be to basically figure out the brain has this secret code that we haven't uncovered yet on how it can actually use this pulse type of representation to perform very complex computations. And in the best case scenario, of course, I would want to figure that out to see, or at least if it happened during my lifetime, that would be cool. And then, of course, the next thing would be to incorporate that in today's circuits and basically not have this barrier between our biological systems and the all the devices that we use in our daily lives.
Wow, that's really cool. Hope that answered your question, Steve. I've got another one from Adrian. Adrian asks, is an AI that is indistinguishable from a human theoretically possible in your opinion? So the personality and intelligence side, not physical resemblance.
in my opinion, but also in the opinion of many other researchers, it's definitely possible, and it's likely to happen in the next couple of decades. Of course, people have been saying this for a while, but things are getting quite close. But I think another interesting question would be, will it happen before or after we understand how the biological brain works? Because the way the things advance currently, it will be likely to have machines that work better than our brains, even though we don't figure out 100% how the brain works, and that would be a bit strange.
That is quite a good question. I was I don't know, did you see that film Ex Machina, where it's got where the guy is doing the Turing test on the AI? And I suppose is that sort of a little bit what that question from Adrian was about? So it's making humans and AI indistinguishable. Is that sort of what that is?
So the Turing test, that's basically what it does. It checks if let's say we just chat through text, will you be able to know if I'm a human or a robot? That would be the Turing test. And currently, no computer has passed the Turing test, but I think it's likely it will happen.
And then that's what I liked about the CAPTCHA thing, because it's the anti-Turing test, because it's a computer trying to test if you are a human rather than a human trying to test. So clever.
And when the machines pass the Turing test, that CAPTCHA will be useless, basically.
Uh-oh. All right. So thank you, Dorian, so much for letting us pick your brain a little bit. We're going to bring Steve back, have a look at the scoreboard. So I guess until the end of the quiz, we'll say bye to you, Dorian. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, what's going on? Oh,
I
Steve.
better turn some lights back on. I'm looking very cyber.
Looking very creepy there. What are you doing?
There we go. Well, no, creepy. The creepy combination is this one. Turn that one off. Because you've got like the darkness on the side and then the red on the other side. That's the super creepy combination. That one there.
Oh, also, I said let's look at the scoreboard, but I haven't even done the answers for round 4 yet. So let's do that.
I think yeah. I mean, I'm looking at people's answers for round 4, and they're confused, Maeve. You've got to dig them out of the confusion hole into which you have thrown them.
All right. Well, let's get involved.
There's some great answers, and there's some truly pitiful answers.
Oh, okay. Give me some. So, question 1. So that was an object. What objects did we get?
I had no idea about this one. But everybody said.
Everyone, submit your answers now, because otherwise we're just going to be telling you what they are.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even think to do that because I didn't have a little clock at the end of that one. So, everyone, you've got 10 seconds to jot it down.
I didn't even start saying anything. You stopped me at exactly the right moment, Maeve. What a
Thank
professional.
You. Thank you. So 10 seconds, submit your answers, or there's no points. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closed. Answers are closed.
Bork.
Okay.
Swedish.
Now
it's
we
over
can.
noise.
How is it? Now we can talk about this object. What's the best answer that you've seen? That one?
Well, most people have said toaster or couch. So it might be one of those white and gold dress, black and blue dress, Fenton Benton things. It's a 4-slice toaster. A 4-slice stainless steel toaster? How much did you spend on that JPEG, Maeve O'Sullivan? That is an incredibly expensive. Is that what you have in your house?
Absolutely not. I don't eat toast.
That is an Imperial College toaster, if ever I saw one. One person wrote microwave, which is halfway between the couch and the toaster. So not bad.
Not too bad.
Question 2.
Animal.
Well, right. So they all said dog, apart from the ones who said hedgehog, turtle, seal, cuttlefish, snail, sea lion, and tiger.
Well, I would applaud the people who had anything round-ish as their animal. So dog, that's not very creative.
You get little round dogs.
you know, snail, like, you know, do you know what I mean? There's something going on there.
Yeah. There's a
And
lot of snails in there.
It's a hedgehog.
Hedgehog! Hedgehog! Only 2 teams got hedgehog. Amazing work.
Look at it closely.
Orashek and the Royal School of Mimes got hedgehog.
But can you see
Look
that there's
closely.
spikes at the top?
Well, there's spikes, but there's also a million little snail squirrely things.
That's true.
Can't believe we're not using that picture of you that I put through the dream generator, Maeve. Number 3.
Not too hard, this one, do you think?
No, well, everybody got it, but what I like was the extremely complicated formal ways in which people answered it. So some people just put the Queen or Queen, and somebody wrote Elizabeth II, by the grace of the God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and of her other realms and blah. You know, I'm just like, what? Are you applying to Imperial College mainly because of the word imperial in the name? Like, dial it back a bit.
Okay, number 4.
Anyway, everyone got that.
Great.
Everyone got that. Apart from the person who wrote Queen, because it's not any of the band Queen. It is. No, they still got the point.
Yeah, got it. Cool. And number 5.
Are we not doing number 4 then? Are we not doing 4 then?
Oh, I already said it. I thought you said, yeah, everyone got that.
No. What did you put? What it was for?
It's the one with all the wolves in it. Number 4.
What?
It's a landmark.
Yeah, but what is it? Because we've got a lot of different answers, and I think we've given them all right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was quite obvious. This is Big Ben.
Well, isn't Big Ben technically the bell?
Oh, right. Okay.
Pedants in the YouTube chat can correct me. So we've allowed Big Ben, I think, but also we've got Queen Elizabeth Tower. We've also got Parliament. We've also got the Palace of Westminster. You can see a bit, I think, of is that the local church just in front of it? And I mean, it's just a bad choice of photo, Maeve. I think really.
Dear.
But I think everyone got close enough that they got that point, as far as I can tell. Let's have a look at the next one.
This is Ed Sheeran.
Whoever Ed Sheeran is.
Everyone should know that, right? You look a bit like Ed Sheeran. Do you, with your glasses?
Right, I'm going to take my glasses off for the rest of this. His glasses are plastic. Mine are aluminium coated in rhodium. They're totally different.
I'm a glow in the dark.
Right, what's the last one? As if I even care anymore for that insult.
I take
as much like nonsense. That's ridiculous. Congratulations, everyone who got that right. Some people, we got a Lady Gaga, we got an Iggy Azalea, got a Bjork.
Ooh.
Yeah, miles off. Well done, everybody. Some great answers in that round. Sorry about the hedgehog that looked like a dog, apparently.
Sorry. And now it's time to check the scores.
Right, we're going to go and see how everybody's doing. Let's go and have a look at this. I'm going to put my glasses back on so I can see the scoreboard.
I'm sorry.
Oof! Oh, well, the good news is the leads has changed. Branch Covidians clearly got so overexcited after their first round exertions that they've tired themselves out all the way down into joint third. And they're currently joint third with 4 other teams. So there's a lot to play for. Just ahead is the Astroquizzix department. Now, this might come down to the poems. There's 2 points for the best poem submitted on Twitter. So if you are, let's say, 24 or above, you should think about getting a poem in because it's very tight at the top and it might make a lot of difference. It's quite exciting when it's this tight at the top. Normally in a pub quiz, there's one table full of retired professors answering every question right because it turns out there were 3 rounds on World War II history and vintage cars and they just cleaned up. It's quite exciting to have a pub quiz that is this close. Yeah. Amazing. Should we move on to round 5 then, there, Maeve?
Absolutely. So this is going to separate everyone out. Oh, you just hear me?
No, I think you're fine. I think you can keep going.
Feedback of myself. So, you've now got the speed round. Steve, do you want to tell us about the speed round?
Oh, the speed round, right. It's really difficult how it works. It's a round and it's faster. You don't get the questions twice. You just bang through. And the nice thing is that at the end of the round, the first team to submit gets 2 extra points. So you've got to think, will we get the last question? Will we not get the last question? Should we go in early? Well, do you think, what if we've not gone in early enough and another team's gone in earlier and we don't even get the 2 points bonus? And we don't, it's complicated. It's a complicated round. There's a lot of tactics comes into play. So remember, it's very tight at the top. These 2 points for being first, 1 point for being second, these might make a huge difference along with the poems. So get poems in, like delegate your most creative team member to just focus on poems for the duration of this round if you want to win. Anyone who's got no answers, where they've got a lot of flair, put them on poems. Everyone else, focus. You've got to communicate at the speed of light as well.
Yeah, it's a very, very firm 10 seconds at the end, and then it's done. So you've got to be really on it with this. No lead.
Submit faster than that. Don't wait for the 10 seconds to begin. Just poof, 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 poof.
Okay.
Get them in.
As well. Got answers A, B, and C. Okay. Are we ready? Ready, steady, go. Question 1. From 2017 onwards, how many characters long were tweets allowed to be? Was it A, 140? Was it B, 180? Or was it C, 280? Question 2. In computing, there are 8 bits to a byte. What are 4 bits called? Is it A, a peck? Is it B, a munch? Or is it C, a nibble? Question 3. Which one is the odd one out in technology terms? Is it A, opera? Is it B, Wagner? Or is it C, Vivaldi? Question 4. What is this fictional robot's name? Is it A, Hank? Is it B, Marvin? Or is it C, Chip? Question 5. What travels fastest? Is it A, light? Is it B, sound? Or is it C, they travel the same speed? Question 6. According to a study by the Business Translation Center, what language does Google Translate best? Is it A, Urdu? B, Afrikaans? Or is it C, Spanish?
D, Welsh.
Question 7. Were you listening? What year is the current model of the biological neuron from? Is it A, 1943? Is it B, 1963? Or is it C, 1993? Question 8. In the Matrix, what pill does Neo choose to take? Is it A, the blue pill? Is it B, the red pill? Or is it C, the yellow pill? Question 9. Which number has the most zeros? Is it A, 1 undecillion? Is it B, 1 vigintillion? Or is it C, 1 billion, the number with the most zeros?
They all exist, don't they?
10. Question 10. What is our scientist's surname? Is it A, Florian? Is it B, Dorescu? Or is it C, Florescu? You have 10 seconds. And this does the actual thing for me. It's 10 seconds long. 3, 2, 1. Time's up. That's it. Have we got all our answers in? I hope so. If we've got any people from the background telling me if everyone's done their answers. I really hope that you all did get your answers in time. It's a really big loss if you don't get those 2 points per question. All right. It's
it's difficult partly because we don't know how slow people's connections are and therefore how far behind they are on YouTube.
Oh no, this is very, very true.
Yeah, it's all fine. Adrian's right. It's not whoever has the best internet connection. All that matters is that whoever came in first gets 2 extra ones. We're not going to punish you for being on dial-up because you got that point earlier on about the They will have got that point. They're like, that's just the sound of the world coming into my house.
Yeah. Okay, do you think it's safe to do our answers?
Yeah, there's a lot of teams have submitted.
All right,
no one's submitted for the last 20 seconds, so I think you're safe.
Awesome. Okay, here we go then. So I asked, from 2017 onwards, how many characters long were tweets allowed to be? The answer was C, 280. So in 2016, originally, you were allowed 140, but then that was upped to 280 in 2017. Question 2, I wanted to know what 4 bits were called. I love this little piece of knowledge. It's a nibble. 8 bits to a bite, 4 bits to a nibble.
Phenomenal.
It's good, isn't it?
That's a good fact.
Thank you. Question 3. I want to know the odd one out in technology.
Is it B?
The answer is B, because the other two
are web browsers.
are web browsers. Absolutely.
Come on, point for Steve.
Well done. Question 4. I want to know this fictional robot's name. This is Marvin.
Oh, I love that you used the 2005 Marvin as well. I'm a member of quite a lot of Hitchhiker's Guide Facebook groups and things because I do write comedy for them, but they really hate that Marvin. They would have lost their minds at the sight of that. But also, congratulations on having Hank Marvin as 2 of the options for all the Shadows fans.
So this is Marvin, the paranoid android from A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I mean, technically, he's not paranoid; he's depressed. But
I know. Hey, I didn't call the name.
The portrayal of
mental fastest. It's light. Did anyone put anything different? If so,
no. Everyone put light.
Good. All right. I think you might like this fact, Steve. According to a study by Business Translation Center, what language does Google Translate best?
Spanish.
Turns out it's Afrikaans.
Wow.
Good, isn't it?
What Dutch? What does it translate it into best? Because surely you need a pair of languages for it to.
So it was it's this big study with they had lots of people from loads and loads of different languages, and they gave them all a stock phrase, and it had to translate into different ones. But this came out on top.
Wow.
Urdu was one of the worst. It failed more than 80%.
The good news is only one team put Urdu, so a lot of people put Spanish though. Like me, they assumed it would be Spanish, but no, good few points for the people who put Afrikaans.
Thanks. And this one was just a test of your knowledge. We were revising in round 2, and now were you listening? So the biological neuron model is from 1943, as Dorian told you.
I mean, they were listening. Everyone got that one, but we'll find out how much they were listening when we get to question 10.
Oh dear. In the Matrix, what pill does Neo choose to take? He takes the red pill, and he goes down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, the yellow pill was just vitamin C.
No, that's orange. What's the yellow pill? Awkward. Question 9. What number had the most zeros? So I can tell you that 1 billion has only 9 zeros. 1 undecillion has 36 zeros, but 1 vigintillion has 63 zeros. Very long number.
Lots of them got that, which surprises me. I mean, I suppose by just guessing, a third of them should get it.
Yeah, I suppose you're really only between undecillion and vigintillion. And finally, what was the scientist's surname? Steve, were they listening?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them weren't, but I'm going to say that they just wanted to get their answer sheets in quick to try and get 2 ahead.
That's a good point. All right, so everybody, this is the end. We've got one last push for points, which is with the poems. Steve, what's going on with the poems?
Well, you know as much as I do. Can somebody post the winning poem into the secret organizers chat thread behind the scenes so that I can read it out, please? The winning team for the poetry is, and I'm very excited to announce this, I'm going to have a quick look at the scoreboard before I announce it to see how much effect it's going to have on the overall. Well, it might be. So still waiting for someone to post the winning poem for me, please, friends, post it. Thank you. Right, so this is a poem from the Hobbits, and I'll read it for you. I feel like I've gone. Oh no, it's a limerick, isn't it? In honor of Maeve being Irish, it's a limerick. Is it a limerick? Yeah, it is. I feel like I've gone to heaven now that everything's 24/7. No more waiting in line to buy vodka or wine. I can order at midnight in Devon. I mean, it won't come for 3 days because you're in Devon, which has no transport links to speak of. But brilliant. Well done, Susan Kavanagh, with the easily rememberable at Miranda one. The Hobbits get 2 points for that wonderful, wonderful poem. I nearly read it not as a limerick, where it would have been like, I feel like I've gone to heaven now that everything's 24/7. No more waiting in line to buy vodka or wine. I can order at midnight.
Who's this
Devon.
Quizton Triviantino?
Quizton Triviantino. You don't get any points, but here's your poem. London gets colder, the sky is blue, Trump getting bolder, while science stays true.
Oh, it's very noble poem.
I mean, science technically can never be true. It can just be not true. So, I mean, even good old Popper would have thrown that one out. Let's move on. That's why you didn't win, because it's just inaccurate philosophy of science. Let's move on to the Royal School of Mimes, who wrote, pulses in my brain. The only pulses are pain. These questions are hard. I mean, I like the brave rejection of traditional poem form. What is this? This is not a poem. This is sheer doggerel, as my English teacher would have said. Roses are red, dirt is brown. Crizzes go crazy when the Wi-Fi goes down. Wi-Fi, of course, isn't an acronym. It's a pun on hi-fi, which itself stands for high fidelity.
Very good, Steve.
No one knew that until I said it just then. Right, what are these final scores? The poem didn't win it in the end because the hobbits were floating around in mid-table somewhere. Where are you, hobbits? I mean, you're not far off. You got a few more questions right. That could have really swung it for you. But it turns out being good at questions is more important in a quiz than writing a limerick. Maeve, you're the clever part of this. Do you want to announce the winner?
Yes, I can. So I'm only seeing what is on.
Oh, in that case, I'll announce you because there we go. Now you can see it.
Ah, fantastic. Oh my goodness, it's a tie.
It's a tie.
So we've got the quarantine and the astrophysics department. Ooh.
And one of the things we can tell from this, both of these teams, 10 points in round 3. It turns out being able to work out that baby bingo is Ice Ice Baby is the most important skill that you can have in this game.
You should be very, very proud of that. Great. Well, then there's 2 winners then, I suppose, because we're sort of right on time. And
do email in. It's public.engagement.maeve.o'sullivan.imperial@imperial.com.ac.uk for your prize. Your prize, of course, is nothing. And sorry about that. But you can email in for it. She won't send you anything, and that's not her real email address. But it would be fun to go through the process, you know, just to feel like winners claiming something. Now, I've got to say the official thing off the script, Maeve, which says, congratulations to the astrophysics department. You are, this in capital letters, the best at connecting.
very good. Oh, and quarantine. There's 2 winners.
Oh, wait, I'll do it again. Congratulations to Quarantine. You are the best at connecting. That's as sultry as I get at this time of night on a Friday. Brilliant. Thank you all so much for coming to this wonderful quiz. I think we should bring back Dorian for a round of applause. Dorian, you still there?
Dorian.
Bring him back, bring him back, bring him back, bring him back, bring him back. So even in your houses, I know we can't hear your rounds of applause, but do them anyway. Wake the neighbours up. Someone's asked no tie-break question. No, what's the point breaking the tie? There's no prizes. Both go away saying you won. No, I wanted to say a massive round of applause, please, for our wonderful hosts, Maeve and Dorian, who some of you know his name and some of you got it wrong, and he'll be coming around to your houses to beat you up. So big round of applause for Maeve and Dorian. Basically, I want all of the neighbours coming round complaining about you clapping so loudly, and then they're like, why are you making all this noise? And they go, well, a guy did write some quite good questions about the Matrix and Elon Musk. Have wonderful evenings. Look after yourselves. Now, Maeve, there must be another Imperial Lates Online next month that people need to come to. Can you tell them about it?
I absolutely will, Steve. Thank you for the prompt. In our next Imperial Lates, we will be looking at healthcare heroes. It's just a few weeks away. We're starting on the 28th of September, and we'll be ending with another awesome quiz. So if you liked this, have a look at our Imperial Lates page at imperial.ac.uk/what's on, or follow us at Imperial Spark on Twitter to find out when things are happening. The quiz did sell out tonight, so if you do really want to come back, get registering. So that's, healthcare heroes in just a few weeks. Hopefully we'll see you then.
Goodbye, wonderful friends.
Goodbye.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Look after yourselves. Don't do anything Maeve wouldn't do.
Well,
I would say that I wouldn't do, but then that doesn't rule out anything. You need somebody more sensible like Maeve to go with.
Bye.